There was literally no reason for NATO to exist after that, and yet we continued to promote it, and not just promote its continued existence, but we promoted its expansion, its redefinition. And what did it become? It stopped being an organization that focused on the security of Western Europe, and it started being an organization that talked about expanding European transatlantic power on a global stage, a global platform. It stopped being a defensive military alliance, and it became an offensive regime change promoting alliance. One only needs to look at NATO engagement in Kosovo and Serbia in the 1990s, in Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq. These are not defensive, and with the exception of Kosovo, they don't even deal with Europe. So NATO is a problem. The military that exists today is a byproduct of 20 years of neglect. We do not have a military today that can fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. We do not have a military today that can fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. I'll say it one more time because this is important. We do not have a military today that can fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. And yet, what is the president positioning us to do? Fight a large-scale ground war in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, if we fight the Russians, we will lose. We will lose hands down. It won't even be close. NATO doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it's there as an organization. When I was in, the British had the British Army on the Rhine. Around 80,000 guys, highly trained. Today, they barely have 80,000 guys in their entire military. Ask the Brits to put together a brigade and send it out their island into Europe. They can't do it. They can't do it. Ask the French. They can't do it. Ask the Germans. They can't do it. No one can do it. This is why Joseph Borrell, who is the head of foreign policy for the European Union, is freaking out right now because he recognizes the trajectory that Europe's on, which implies the potential for combat with Russia. And he says Europe cannot beat Russia in a war. That's an absolute statement of fact.